All right, so today we're going to talk about a special topic, and this is going to be a mix of an educational video, but also a video where I can explain to you what I do in more detail with my clients in real life. Because if some of you don't know, I actually host programs in real life. I don't just coach people online, I also meet my clients in real life, and we do this together in real life. And so in this video, I want to share with you some lessons and I want to show you the behind the scenes of what I do in real life with my clients. So let's get into it. About 70 years ago, Roger Bannister became the first man to run a 4-minute mile, which means running a 1 mile race in under 4 minutes. Now, before him breaking that record, scientists and doctors and you know, people who were involved in the sports industry were were saying that it was impossible, that nobody could do it. Nobody could run a 4-minute mile, and that if you tried to run a 4-minute mile, you could even die. So that day, Roger Bannister achieved something that was deemed impossible for years and years and years, for decades. And it happened in 1954. So in 1954, that's when he broke the record. What happened after Roger Bannister broke the record is even more interesting. So once the barrier was broken, once he broke the record, something unexpected happened. Only about 45 days later, another runner who comes from Australia finished the 1 mile race as well in under 3 minutes. So he was able to run a 4-minute mile under 4 minutes. Now, a year later, three other runners also broke the record. And nowadays, okay, today, we have around 1,500 people who also broke the record, right? Once this guy, Roger Bannister, broke the record, other people started to think that it was possible. And because of that, the record got broken over and over and over again. And every single year we have people doing it and proving that it is possible. So oftentimes, things that we deem impossible only seem that way because we haven't done it yet. But once the psychological barriers are broken, it becomes a new standard. It becomes a new way of being, and it becomes 100% possible. And I love this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that said, "The mind once stretched by a new idea never returns to its original dimensions." So once your mind expands and understands some new concepts, it never returns to normal. You become someone else and you start to think differently for the rest of your life. And the tale of the 4-minute mile shows that it only takes a single event, a single shift in perception to change our lives, shatter our personal barriers, and really set a new standard for ourselves. Because once we see what's possible, it obviously becomes easier to attain it. Now, I had a similar story a few years ago as well. I was having a hard time approaching women. I was also having a hard time pulling them from nightclubs and really getting intimate with them. And every time I went out, I had like pretty great experiences overall, but for some reason, I wasn't closing any deals. I wasn't going home with girls. I had a hard time closing. It was a bit platonic, I would say. And yeah, something was missing. But then I started going out with guys who were more experienced than me. I started going out with wingmen that were a couple levels higher. And I took my first boot camp when I was around 19 with one of my first mentors. And by being around more advanced people and by being around mentors, I was actually making plenty of mistakes that I didn't realize back then. I had plenty of blind spots that I didn't really notice, right? And I'm not going to explain all the blind spots because it would take me too much time to explain exactly what I was missing. But the point of the story is that just the fact of immersing myself and going out with guys who are more experienced and seeing what's possible, seeing what they were doing, that really gave me like an understanding of what I had to change, and it it redirected me on the right path, and it showed me the right things I needed to do. And just after that, especially after the first boot camp I took, I got incredible results like a few weeks later because I internalized what I had learned and I started implementing and taking action on the things I've learned. And from there, like things started to change very quickly. Now, the problem is most men nowadays, they live in a bubble wrapped reality. They never put themselves out there. They never approach women. They never face the risk of rejection. And they keep doing the same thing in their lives. And because of that, they get the same results. One of the biggest issues that men struggle with, especially men who come on my boot camps, is that they have a hard time putting themselves out there and showing their real intentions with women. They have a hard time communicating their intentions. They have a hard time sexualizing things, escalating things, approaching women in real life as well. A lot of times they see girls passing by, but they don't initiate, they don't approach. They just let the opportunities slip through. And it just sucks. And they want to make a change. They want to be able to approach women, get dates, live their dating life to the fullest, and enjoy, the female company to the fullest, right? And so that's what they come to me for. And so on these boot camps, I help them get over it and get shit done. We're going to go out every single day for 3 days, both during daytime and nighttime. And we're going to do this every single day. And this leaves you no room for excuses because boot camps are really immersive. Like I'm with you in real life and we do this together. We approach women together. We talk to them. We date them together. We obviously also work on your online presence. We take a lot of pictures, etc. But the main thing is we take a lot of action with women. Now, how you handle yourself in the dating game also reveals a lot about how you handle yourself in the game of life in general. If you procrastinate with dating, then you're probably procrastinating in some other area. Maybe you're procrastinating with your fitness as well. Maybe you're procrastinating with starting a business. And so how you do one thing reflects into how you do other things. And if you can't approach a beautiful woman in the street, for example, well, how are you going to confidently approach an investor in some conference or approach like another entrepreneur that you know? Because making excuses is a habit. And once you start doing it in other areas. So think about that. And I want you to realize that this goes deeper than just dating women. There are so many parallels between success with women and financial success. Dating is very similar to sales. You know, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't promote your offer to people, if you don't take the risk of, facing rejections, you're never going to be successful in business. And it's the same exact thing with women. I noticed even with my own story, the better I got at dating, the better I got at sales, and vice versa. Even some of the things I learned in sales have been very, very useful in dating. And the same character traits, the same communication skills, and the same psychological understandings that would make someone successful in dating will also make someone successful in business as well. So if right now you feel like you've hit a certain glass ceiling of success in your dating life, or if right now you feel stuck in the same pattern, if right now you're not dating the woman you want, you're not getting the success you want in your dating life, then this is it. The bootcamp is absolutely for you. Now, on the boot camps, what we're going to do is we're going to meet together in real life. Me, you, and maximum 4 other people. I take maximum 4 to 5 people per boot camp. And this is a very closed group of people. Most of them are all pretty successful in life. We have a lot of business owners. We have a lot of guys who have very successful careers, guys who work at JP Morgan, or guys who work at some of the best companies in the world, or guys who are doctors. We have a lot of doctors, a lot of surgeons, stuff like that. Now, let me give you a snippet of how the bootcamp goes. This is just a quick trailer, like 1 minute, but this shows you kind of the behind the scenes and shows you how much fun we have. So let me put the video right now. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this quick trailer. So, for those of you who don't know me, let me quickly run you through who I am, because maybe right now you're a bit skeptical, like, why should I learn from this guy and not this other guy? There are so many other coaches, etc. Well, myself, I've been doing this for the past 8 years now. I've been the inner circle leader of multiple dating communities across the globe. I've lived in Paris, in Montreal, in London, in Eastern Europe, and I've helped more than 5,000 plus men through my books and through my programs, and more than 500 plus men in real life, personally. And I held more than 30 plus live seminars and boot camps all over the world. And I live my life exactly like I preach. I'm one of the only guys online who actually shows results. I show myself dating women. I show myself going to some of the best spots, traveling the world, etc. A lot of guys you see online don't show that. They don't really show their results. And I think that when you do this type of work, you got to also prove that you're the type of person who can teach other people. And you do that by showing your own results and how you live your life. And I walk my talk. As I said, I've hosted more than 30 plus seminars and boot camps all over the world. These are just a few boot camps that I hosted in the past 24 months. I've hosted one in Vienna, in Warsaw, in Tallinn, Estonia, in Belgrade, Athens, London, Bali, like all these places. And these are legit boot camps that I've hosted with clients. You can even see my stories and my highlights on Instagram. And through the boot camp, I teach you all these systems that I teach my clients, like cold approach. We're going to refine every single aspect of your dating life. And this is what I call the up-level live bootcamp program. This is the bootcamp program. Now, during the bootcamp, I like to organize some fun activities. Like, obviously, we take some cool tables in some very cool nightclubs. We take a limousine. We invite some girls in the limousine. We do some crazy activities, and we have a lot of fun. So it's a lot of fun. And I've had plenty of testimonials, like guys who pulled girls same night, guys who couldn't approach before the boot camp, and now they're approaching women almost every day in their regular life. Guys who went from not being able to close consistently to now closing deals consistently and having amazing relationships with women. And the up-level bootcamp is designed to skyrocket every aspect of your dating life: the mindset, the confidence, the attitude, the body language, the communication skills, your charisma, your approach. And also, obviously, we're going to cover all the systems, like daytime systems, nighttime seduction systems, like all the things you need to know to be able to approach, attract, and date women consistently everywhere you go. And we also cover online presence, like we're going to take a lot of pictures, stories, all of that. You're going to take more action in 3 to 7 days than you took in the past 300 days. I'm saying 7 days because sometimes I'm doing also immersions, and those are like 7-day events where for 7 days we train together. But most of the boot camps I host are usually like 3 days only. So there's two formats: the 3-day elite bootcamp and the 7-day deluxe immersion. So just to show you, we have two different up-level live program. We have the 3-day elite bootcamp, and we have the 7-day deluxe immersion. So in the 3-day bootcamp, it's shorter. So we have 3 days and 3 nights. We have 18 hours of coaching. We have debriefs and pre-briefs after each session. But the 7-day one is longer. So we have 50 hours of live coaching. We have 7 full days and nights, and it's deeper. But I rarely do those. I rarely do the 7 days. It's mainly 3 days. And the bootcamp is for the most ambitious men who want to reach the highest level of understanding and success with women. And it's for men who also wonder what it's like to actually go out with other experienced guys and other experts. And they want to see what's possible. And they want to master the full model of consistently attracting the most beautiful woman in the world. And if that's you, then the bootcamp is for you, right? So what's good with the bootcamp, it's action-packed. Like, we're going to take a lot of action, and I'm going to be able to see exactly what you're doing in real life. Because when I coach people online, it's hard for me to see what they're doing. But if I'm with them in real life, I can analyze and see exactly what blind spots they have and what they should fix. And they can see what I'm doing as well, because I demonstrate as well what I teach. I show them, I approach women in front of you guys, and you can see as well what's possible in what I do, right? So that's a big one. Now, we have a few boot camps coming up in the next few months. Now, this is changing all the time. If you watch this video in a few months or in a few years, this is always changing. So you want to go to higherselfcircle.com/uplevel to be able to see the updated schedule. But for now, as I'm speaking, we have one in Dublin coming up. Last week I was in Belgrade. We have one in Budapest in September. So we have a lot of boot camps coming up, and I'm always adding some new boot camps. Every 2 months on average, we have a new boot camp program that I host in real life where we do this together in real life. So once again, if right now you feel like you've hit a certain glass ceiling of success and you want to do this with me in real life, if you finally want to break new records and permanently change your dating life and attract the woman you truly want, then the bootcamp is for you. All you gotta do, if you're interested, is either click the link in the notes, if there's notes, or if there's a description, you can click the link, or below this video, there's probably a button where you can click the link somewhere, and just pick a time and we can have a call together, or DM me. You can just DM me on Instagram, on Telegram, on any platform, and we'll be able to discuss if it's best for you and what are the best options for you. So yeah, if you're serious, come on bootcamp one day. I would love to have you on bootcamp in real life. And remember the story of the 4-minute mile. Once your perception is altered, once you expand your mind and you see what's truly possible, there's no going back. There's literally no going back. And that's when you're going to have your biggest breakthroughs. And that's when you're going to finally break through that glass ceiling and get to the next level. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the bootcamp if you join one day. Click the link or DM me, and I'll have the pleasure to host you in one of my bootcamps if you qualify. So I want to show you a quick win that I received yesterday from one of the clients who was in the bootcamp last week. So last week I hosted a bootcamp in Belgrade as I'm speaking, and one of the clients, Gerardo, got an amazing win just after the bootcamp. So basically after the bootcamp, he landed in his city, which is Eindhoven. And at the airport, he saw a lady and he approached the girl. He approached the girl at the airport. The girl was on his plane and they had the opportunity to grab a coffee, etc. And then he was able to pull her. He was able to pull her at his place, but nothing really happened. So he didn't have sex. But then she came back to his place after, the day after or 2 days later. And then he sealed the deal. Then he had sex with her and it went great, And keep in mind that this guy, before the bootcamp, he wasn't approaching any girl. He had a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of trauma around it, and he had a hard time approaching girls. He wasn't taking any action. But then through the bootcamp, I really helped him to get over it and really solve a lot of the mindset issues that he had. And he started to approach a lot of women. And now after the bootcamp, he's closing deals and he's approaching women even after the bootcamp. So I thought that was beautiful. And as I can see, the other guys in the groups have celebrated it too. I mean, we always celebrate the wins in the group. Actually, every time I host a bootcamp, we have a special group for it on Telegram where we discuss before and after the bootcamp. And yeah, this was a beautiful win. So I wanted to share that with you. And this shows the power of actually taking action and working on this. Because if you work on this, and you learn the proper systems and you get past your limiting beliefs or your mindset, it's usually the mindset. If you get past your mindset and you fix some things in your mindset, you're going to start approaching women consistently and getting results. And that's what we do on the bootcamps. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. And yeah, hope to see you on a bootcamp one day. If you're serious, click the link or DM me. And I'd love to see you on one of the bootcamps.